Welcome back to Cupid Parasite, where we are going to be doing Shelby's route. We did his date last time, and now we're going to be getting into it. But at the same time, that end created a whole new challenge for me. Start of a secret relationship. Hey, let's go out tonight. Drinks are on me. Oh, awesome. Just give me a second to touch up my makeup. I'm definitely down. Man, this is going to be so much fun. Awesome. Let's meet up at the club at 5 o'clock. See you there. All anyone can see is my social status. They all just... Was that an alarm or a phone ringing? It's just a dream. I hit the alarm. It looked like my nap was over. Normally 30 minutes is plenty for me, but that dream just made me feel even more tired. That's why I hate the fact that I have to sleep. I have these kinds of dreams way too often. That's really sad. As someone who's had nightmares or just dreams that have made me wake up feeling more tired, I totally understand that. Some dreams aren't restful. What good does it do to dream about my younger days? Thinking about it is a waste of time. I need to just forget about it and focus on my work. For now, I should check my emails. I hadn't been asleep long, but I was already buried in messages. I scrolled through them, looking for anything especially important. One message caught my eye. It was an email from an important Cupid Corp client. Uh-oh. I clicked on it and immediately started frowning. Another invitation for business lunch. That itself isn't a problem, but they also want me to bring my wife along. This one was from an executive at a company that makes jewelry. Their president and I have a close business connection. He always wants to have these family meals. The idea is that close personal relationships can lead to closer business relationships. Building those relationships strengthens trust, so it's important to them to interact with the client's family. If he trusts me enough to bring his wife to our meetings, I can't just show up alone. That impacts my reputation, without a doubt. Clients always talk about how much they want to meet my wife, and I always do my best to come up with an excuse to avoid that. But if I say she's introverted, they say that's fine with them. If I say she can jump the pole, they say she could join as soon as she feels better. I know full well that my excuses are starting to sound more forced by the day. But I have no choice because my wife doesn't actually exist. Is he gonna ask? I bet he's gonna ask Cupid. Which is why I thought it might be nice to join in on this matchmaking stunt. But I never imagined getting married anonymously would be quite this difficult. In this day and age, people can live totally free romantic lives or experience the joy of married life as they desire. I thought I could find at least one person willing to get married without meeting me and didn't care much about married life. But for final results, 0. I didn't expect to get 0 matches despite using my own company service. Of course, a careless partner would expose my secret right away. I have to be prudent. But that prudence just makes it that much harder to meet with someone. She told me I was too secretive. She said I should at least share my company's name, but obviously that had to remain top secret. After all, Shelby Snell, the president of Cupid Corporation, has a reputation as a devoted husband. If I can't even say where I work, it makes sense I can't get married. Status matters in the matchmaking market too, it seems. I don't think it's so much about status here, Mr. Snail. I think it's about the secrecy and people want to know what you do. Not because of how much you make, but because you said you were a president and they want to know how busy you'll be. At least in my case, I would want to know how busy my husband could be. Our data does suggest that those with high income but questionable employment do have trouble getting married. I considered developing a total anonymous matchmaking system, but I realized that I was just avoiding reality at that point. Anyway, that was an email I had to deal with at that moment. But I've had a good working relationship with this person for a while, and to be honest, I was starting to get tired of having to lie all the time. It wasn't fair to him either. He trusted me as a business partner, and now he wanted to see me as a part of his family too. A person of high social standing would respond to that in kind. Will I continue to cling to this status, even if I have to lie? But if the truth got out, it would destroy our stock value. I don't need a financial advisor to tell me that much. Okay, I think it would hurt your stock for short term because you lied about being married. If you had just been honest from the front, I don't think it would have been as bad. So my heart was telling me no. No caring human would be okay with continuing to lie to others like this. I thought about my old classmates at our advertising agency who came up with the husband-president idea in the first place. If I can find in Anthony about all this, he'd just laugh and say I was being naive. 32 might not sound young in general, but it's definitely young for a company president. I'm still not ready to give up some things. Even if I said something to him, he'd just tell me to keep going with the lie. But I've noticed some tabloids talking about me not actually being married. They're starting to snoop around for secrets. Looking at my call history, I frowned again. I'd gotten a call from the security company I'd hired to keep an eye on things. They'd been calling me more often. Lately, someone trying to open my door, someone taking pictures of my building, which meant that someone was trying to get into my home. There was no doubt that someone was looking into my private life. Luckily, no one has been spotted trying to get into the place where I actually live. The security company only ever contacted me about my second home, the house where we lived for Parasite House. But my apartment was on 8th Ave, and I was glad to know that it was safe for now. But nobody could ever know about it. After all, it's an apartment meant specifically for single people. But if people kept snooping around, they'd find out I didn't live where they think, and they'll start looking for my real home. I need to figure something out before some things go too far. But my matchmaking efforts have failed again and again. I checked my emails again. It's not like I was completely heartless. Lying with a straight face was getting harder and harder. I feel like it's about time to give in. Oh, until the truth given? Generally speaking, sure, but status and looks aren't what matter to me. They aren't? Why is that? Well, because I don't think that's where a person's value comes from. It's what's on the inside that matters most. For some reason, I recalled that conversation I had with her. She was always so straightforward. She was so intent on getting everyone married. It's like she forgot it was just a job, like she was the actual Cupid. We have plenty of passionate employees, of course, but few that have the absolute no regard for their personal achievement. Which is why I had the sudden urge to consult with her. Up until now, I've only ever talked to Owen about this kind of thing. I got the sense that she knew how to keep a secret, that she wouldn't thoughtlessly vent to others about her personal life. Oh, no. I considered whether I should reveal the truth or keep it a secret. After some hesitation, I began typing an email. He's gonna open up! Oh, I'm so proud!
Next up is entertainment news. Miss Ali, an actress who, due to a recent photo, was a candidate for CC President Snell's wife, denied it on her Instagram. In contrast, Miss May, a fashion model, has claimed to be his wife. But Mr. Snell has denied it, and people are growing suspicious.
Uh-oh. Trouble in Paradise. Oh, this could be a problem. That's definitely her in the picture. I hope she doesn't end up getting dragged into something weird. I think she's referring to me. I'm in the picture. Several days after all the Parasite 5 had left, other than the insurer, I was told to return to my normal duties. Let's see, I don't have any meetings planned today, so maybe I'll get in touch with new members with some recommendations. I grabbed the folder with the profile sheets of all the members I was managing. Looking through it, I noticed the old Parasite 5 sheets still stuck inside. That reminds me, Mr. Snell said that Mature's membership status is currently on hold. I hadn't heard from him in a while, and even Owen hadn't been in touch, so for the time being, I just left it alone. But he's still technically a member, so I should try and find something I can do for him. I heard the chime that told me when I had a new email. I saw that it was from the president. I opened it, and the message was pretty simple. He wanted me to come to his office. Could this have something to do with Monsieur? If so, it was perfect timing. I replied telling him I was on my way, then got up to head straight there. Excuse me? Hello, sorry to bother you while you're trying to work. Mr. Snell looked at me from across his desk. He looked much more exhausted than when he called me up here at 5 in the morning. So, what did you want to talk to me about? I'll be direct. I am unsure. Huh? I'm sorry, I must have misheard you. You said, I joined the Parasite if I was unsure, and hired Owen to represent me, which means, of course, that I am not actually married. The president was part of the Parasite 5? Mr. Snell, who becomes famous for his devotion to his wife, didn't actually have a wife and was using a matchmaking service? What, you're unsure? Wait, it all makes sense now. I was surprised at first, but as soon as I'd heard it, everything fell into place. Thinking about it, Mr. Snell had never really acted like he was married. At the Parasite house, he only ever had his jelly drink for breakfast, and he was always answering emails, even mid-conversation. He spent every waking moment working. I always wondered what his wife must be like, and even doubted her existence at times. Is that so? If it's really that obvious, I guess it's about time to call it quits. Call it quits? Did something happen? Well, I'm supposed to meet a client for dinner, and he asked me to bring my wife with me. His business is critical to us, so So I've been making up excuses and meeting with him by myself, but I finally run out of excuses. He always brings his wife with him, so my behavior has been frankly dishonest. I decided it's best to just tell him the truth. Huh? You mean you're gonna tell him you're not actually married? Shh! Not so loud, please. Sorry. I put my hand over my mouth out of nervousness. Mr. Snell said I could hear the exact voice. No, it's only natural you're surprised. I'm sorry. You're my employee. I shouldn't be placing this burden on you. But the fact is, I feel like I'm completely stuck. I was hoping to pick your brain for any idea or advice you may have. I see. Well, why did they think you were married in the first place? Well, it started as a bit of a misunderstanding. Mr. Snell began to explain how it happened. We get the backstory! It all began around 4 years ago. This would have been when I was 28. He was being interviewed for a TV show, and the host got the mistaken impression that he was married. Since he ran a marriage agency, the host thought Mr. Snell himself must be married too. But Mr. Snell thought he was talking about the agency's members. Apparently, the whole conversation didn't make a lot of sense. Mr. Duff, Cupid Corp's top ad agency guy, was there too, and he kept pushing Mr. Snell to keep talking. By the time he realized what was going on, it was too late. It was a live broadcast. He couldn't exactly walk back what he'd said. So instead, he took the experience of a recently married friend of his as his own, and the studio ate up the entire thing. Afterwards, social media started talking about what a loving and devoted husband he was. Mr. Duff saw that as a huge reaction it was getting, so he just spread even more rumors all over the internet. But at that point, it was far too late to turn back. Ah. Yikes. And it just kept going like that day after day up until now. I see. It sounds like you were doomed from the start. So you think so too. He let loose another huge sigh and leaned his elbows on his desk. It started with an honest misunderstanding, but I went along with it in order to help the company. I felt like I was trapped. Anyway, that's basically the whole thing in a nutshell. My problem now is I'm not sure how to respond to this latest invitation. I always tell them how shy my wife is, or how she's not feeling well that weekend. All my excuses now sound forced and fake. But of course, as soon as I tell one person outside the company, it'll spread, and eventually the entire city will know. So I've been thinking maybe I should hold a press conference and announce it there. Press conference? I really don't think we should do that. Imagine what it might do to the company. I couldn't stop myself from blurting out my honest thoughts. Later on, I felt like maybe I'd gone too far, but at the same time, I truly thought someone needed to rein him in. But, Mr. Snell, Cupid Corp's entire reputation rests on the perception that you're a devoted husband. I can't imagine how many members come to us because knowing the company's president was married made them feel reassured. How do you think they'll feel if they find out the truth? If that people who trust us feel like we've betrayed them, it's game over. Our stock could plummet. It might even mean bankruptcy. And if that happened, it would mean my dad was right. I could hear him clear as day, gloating, saying, "I told you so!" But I have evidence that someone's snooping around in my private life. If it's going to come out anyway, better I do it myself. Someone snooping around? Do you know who? I don't know the details, but I did receive a letter that says that you're a scam artist. Oh, and there have been a few magazine interviews where people have expressed serious doubts about me being married. I believe someone out there knows for a fact that I'm not married, and they're on a crusade to expose. Mr. Snell dropped the magazine down in front of me. The title of the article was "President of Cupid Corp a Fraud, Devoted Husband, or a Big Fat Liar." How awful. It's not like you intended for any of this to happen. These people have nothing better to do than to go after someone who, as far as they knew, had been happily married for 4 years. And lately, they've really started coming out of the woodwork just as a competitor came on the scene. I hope it's a coincidence, but... I'm paying good money to be a member, you know. You'd think that they'd have some better choices, right? You make a good point. By the by, did you know that there's a new marriage agency here in our beloved Los York? Oh yeah, what was it called again? It had some weird name. Anyway, they've got a free trial. I was thinking of trying out. That's right, a new marriage agency popped up just recently. It's too risky to accuse someone without evidence. There are too many disgruntled former members and other grudge holders. He was right that there were plenty of members who would hold onto the anger of paying their fees and never getting married. There was also that incident with the blog the other day, and plenty of people have been discharging Cupid Corp on the news lately. If they found out the president wasn't married, it'd be like tossing blood in the water. But what if we said that he and his wife had separated or something like that? No, that would cause the same problem, a drop in stock prices and memberships, and the tabloid would have a field day. My next thought was actually trying to find him someone to marry as soon as possible, but we wouldn't be able to reveal who my client worked for, and then we're getting into fraud territory. He got married and then this all came out. It'd be a total disaster, so it would have to be the perfect partner. This is a tough one. We couldn't make a public announcement, but we don't have any leads for a quick marriage. What other choices do we have? 2 options came to mind. Ideally, I think it would be great to add another secretary that you can really rely on. If you want, I could even help with the search, although all I can really do is make a list of colleagues that might fit. That would be a big help. I do trust your judgment. So would you mind doing that for me? No, not at all. I can send you a list tomorrow, but I can't promise they'll be a good fit, so you should probably make a job posting too. Yes, I'll certainly do that as well. We don't have any time to waste on this, but I must say, you really know your stuff on this. Mr. Spoke smiled at me. He seemed happy that we were on the same wavelength. I was overjoyed that he decided to take my advice. Just then our coffee arrived. The waiter put down our coffee, and Mr. Snail put his phone face down on the table. Anyway, that's enough about Owen. The truth is, I've been wanting to talk to you. Oh? About what? I just wanted to ask if you were really fine with how things are right now. You're talking about, like, with us living together and everything? Yes, well, I suppose I am. I'm just worried that you might be dissatisfied with how things have been going. We don't see each other in the morning or in the evening. These last few days have been hard for you. I'd like to improve things. As usual, it was nothing but business for him. Things I'm dissatisfied with. Getting to work is hard. I would appreciate it if he would take me to work in the mornings. Of course, there were things I wasn't happy about, mainly that we never got to see each other. He doesn't get home until after I'm asleep, and he leaves for work before I wake up. We're living together to convince anyone looking too close that we're a couple, but we don't actually do anything that couples do. To be honest, I've just been wondering if it's okay that we haven't actually been living like a couple. Like a couple, but that's... For example, as your wife, I'd be happy to make dinner, which we could eat together, but we haven't done that once. Oh, right, dinner, yeah. That's true. It's fairly common for couples to eat meals together, huh? Very much so. During the dinner party, the other couple talked about their preferences. I have no idea what you like or don't like. Well, as far as that goes, one thing I don't like is fried foods. Wait, really? Oh yeah, I guess I know that. You wrote that on your mature profile sheet, didn't you? Right, the only thing that wasn't true there was my name. I just don't want to waste energy on food that's hard to digest. All it does is make me hazy and unfocused, so I avoid fried foods whenever I can. As usual, work is his top priority. Anyway, what I really want to focus on was if there was anything you didn't like about living at the house itself. Living at the house? I know it can be uncomfortable staying in someone else's home. If you want to change anything, I'm open to any suggestions. As for that goes, nothing really comes to mind. If I had to pick one thing, I guess my commute is a little longer now. Huh? Oh, right. You take the subway, don't you? I suppose that was rather considerate of me. Sorry about that. Huh, it's fine. It's just a few extra minutes. Maybe, but it's still extra strain on you. I'll think about it and see if I can come up with a way to deal with it. Well, I appreciate that. Mrs. Nell was being unusually sincere. As a workaholic, he checks his emails consistently, but he was being very attentive today. Wait, he hasn't checked his email this entire time we've been talking. After sending off his message to Owen, he hadn't looked at his phone or his laptop. Since the coffee had arrived, he put his phone face down immediately. Maybe he did that so he could focus on our conversation. Focusing on the phone, I noticed it vibrating from time to time, which must have meant that he was continuing to get emails. Sir, I think you've missed a few messages. Right now, sorting out any problem you may have is more important. It was clear he really was worried about any issues I was having with our fake marriage life. He was obviously prioritizing our conversation. Seeing just how considerate he could be, I gave him a reassuring smile. I'm fine, I promise. There isn't anything that's a real problem, honestly. Go on, you should really check your messages. But, really, I really do need to get some work done on my competition entry, so you don't need to worry about me. He was still hesitating, so I went ahead and pulled out my notepad and pen. When he saw me do that, he finally pulled out his laptop. That was really sweet of him, actually. Now then, time to flesh out the details of my plan. I reviewed the key words I come up with back at the office and started jotting them down. The theme was basically a new product planned to help increase marriage rates. In other words, a new style of matchmaking. Currently, all of our matchmaking methods we were using were fairly similar. We had a group events and one-on-one sit-downs, as well as opportunities to go out and meet at cafes, bars, and restaurants. Those are all divided up by members' interests, age groups, and even occupations. But I was thinking about adding a more casual environment, where anyone could feel free to join whenever they felt like it. There are lots of people like Melanie who are pretty introverted, and I'd like those kinds of people to feel comfortable too. For example, a low-pressure setting where people can just get together and chat about their hobbies or whatever they feel like. Maybe a system where friends who already have the same hobbies can join up together. The main point is we have to find a way to create the initial spark for them. I wonder what the best way is. I looked down at my notepad to review all the keywords I'd written down. Cats, dogs, birds, books, movies, desserts, cooking. I looked each one up on Instagram and jotted down the most popular ones. Instagram has so many cat videos, so how about some kind of cat meetup event? Wait, no, I remember we tried that at some point and it was a complete failure. One girl got cat hair all over her dress, another turned out to be massively allergic. We got all kinds of complaints. Still, I think interacting with animals is a really good approach. That's what was on my mind as I glanced at Mr. Snell. Sitting right here was a man actively looking to get married. But this particular candidate was currently completely focused on answering his emails. What about some kind of work-related matchmaking system? I wrote down the phrase co-working space on my notepad, a way to work and connect at the same time. Oh, but trade secrets would be an issue. How about putting people in individual rooms? No. How would that bring people closer? As I sat there, I recalled Mr. Schur's original profile sheet. Mr. Snell has always prioritized his work over everything else. He truly was the perceived parasite. Since Mr. Snell was unsure all along, that meant that everything Owen had said at the interview was actually about him. And on top of that, he admitted that everything on his profile sheet other than his name was the truth. He had an interesting profile sheet. It says here that one of his hobbies is to be SS in all things. What does SS mean? It means to reach the very top rank, of course. Yeah, that's what I've heard as well. It means to earn SS rank. Okay, so his hobby is just to be the best. So he values social standing more than anything else? That's correct. And it also says he wants someone who can accept my work and push me to do better. So he wants someone to help keep the SS rank. That is how it was described to me, yes. But why is he so focused on being the best to begin with? Even if I didn't know the reason, I could relate to his desire. I love my job of connecting people together. Maybe that's why I was enjoying myself so much in that moment. We were working there in silence, but there was nothing awkward about it. Somehow I actually found myself having fun. I wanted to come up with a plan that'll completely blow Mr. Snell's socks off. Something that people could enjoy together whether they were looking for marriage or not. Something with a different focus. I wonder what that might look like. I kept scrolling through Instagram, looking for hints and writing down ideas as they came to me. Instagram has posts that cover all different kinds of topics. It's a great reference for brainstorming sessions. Oh, that's kind of a cute outfit, though. You remember that place on 7th Ave? I saw a dress that was so cute I couldn't have stopped myself from buying it. Clothes. I went to Lockyer Park this morning, and so many birds were there. Morning exercise was better than I realized. I'm pretty sure I saw a secretary bird. Maybe that was just my imagination. Animals. I tried to make some crab cake. It's actually a lot easier than I thought. Cuisine. Oh, this cooking photo has a ton of likes. I took a closer look at it. The description said it was a couple cooking their favorite meal together. Imagining it, I could feel the love. Two people in love making food together. It must be a truly splendid sight. I hope I could bring lots of more people together in that same way. Just looking at the picture helped me stimulate my Cupid instincts. A couple cooking together. It would be kind of a way to kickstart a relationship. I giggled softly to myself and wrote down my idea. You seem quite focused. Have you come up with any good ideas? I looked up at the sound of Mr. Snell's voice and saw him closing his laptop. Oh, did you finish your emails?
No.
I did. Sorry again for interrupting our conversation to do that. Not at all. I think I made up a lot of progress. I'm glad to hear that. So, you mentioned the anniversary competition. You're thinking of entering? I am. It's the perfect opportunity for me to come up with a plan that can bring even more joy to our members. That's very admirable of you. Ha, thank you, but I haven't quite figured it out yet. I've come up with a few potential ideas, but I was just about to show him my notepad. Of course, I stopped myself. Cheating feedback from the president felt too much like cheating. My hand was just frozen there, halfway to handing him the notepad. Mr. Still just smiled at me. I'm not going to be judging this competition, so I think it's fine to give you a bit of advice. Of course, I do have the final say, but I have faith in all my employees, so I'm happy to consider any ideas they develop. Really? Really? So, may I take a look? If you insist. I spread my several pages of notes all over the table. Here's something I've thought of so far. Touch, books, movies, desserts, cooking, and work. I see. Very interesting. A big smile crossed his lips, and a moment later he pointed to the one. And why did you decide to cross this one out? Oh, that? Well, I thought it might be fun to just sit and work together like we're doing right now. But then I realized there might be issues with security and non-disclosure agreements, so I thought it might be too much trouble. That's a good point, but personally, I think finding out more about how someone approaches work is a great approach. Really? Indeed, but this one's not bad either. I like the little catchphrase. Mr. Snell used the tip of his pen to point out a slogan I'd written down. Cook together, come together. One's personality can certainly come through when they cook. Remember the argument it led to during Parasite House? Oh, that's right, I'd almost forgotten about that. Gil and Alan had gotten into a huge fight about it. It was a real pain in the butt at the time. They were arguing about calorie counts and how men and women should or shouldn't cook. I'm sure conversations like that come up all the time in married life, which was all the more reason to uncover habits like that before marriage, much better than waiting till after the wedding. I definitely agreed that cooking helps expose someone's personality. It's an essential foundation of life after all. Very true, and cooking has clear steps you can follow, so people who struggle to make conversation can just focus on the task. Habits tend to reveal themselves in the small moments of a situation. That's a great chance for people to observe each other. True. Deciding that what to make, how they wash and peel vegetables, even small things like that say something about how you think and act. Then maybe cooking and matchmaking really could work together. We could decide on a dish beforehand, but also let each couple choose what to cook for themselves if they want. That's true. Naturally, cooking experience varies from person to person. Yeah, definitely. Then maybe we could divide people up according to skill level. Or you could give them nothing but difficult recipes and have everyone work together to succeed. Oh, that's a great idea. As the host, we could play the villain and create an environment where they all help each other. The villain, huh? Overcoming difficulties together can deepen one's love. It's a version of what's known as a... never heard of that. I can certainly see how that would be the case. We could also divide into genres, like Japanese dish or French dish. And they could go shopping together, getting to know each other by picking out their ingredients at a nearby supermarket. I was getting more and more excited and started writing down lots of different ideas. I suddenly heard a laugh across the table. You really are passionate about your work. Huh? I learned to see Mr. Snell gazing at me softly. His gentle expression made me happy, so I smiled back at him. I do love to work, I can't deny. I see, I'm exactly the same as you know, except I know how to take a break. You, good sir, do not. I gave him another glance, then looked back down at my notes. Cooking and matchmaking, there was definitely plenty there to build on. Here and there, Mr. Snell gave more little tidbits and advice and ideas. Just as I was thinking it was about time for me to head home, Mr. Snell's cell phone rang. He checked the display, and the contact number made him frown. I signaled that he should go ahead and answer it. He nodded and put the phone to his ear. Sorry about this. Yes, I see. Yes, alright. Again, fine. Then go ahead with that. Unbelievable. Is everything alright? Oh, yes. That was someone from CCAM, the secretary company that I've contacted. Apparently, they found evidence that someone tried getting into the house. The house, you mean the one on First Ave? The one where we live? Mr. Snell had mentioned that he had evidence of people snooping around trying to spy on him. I'm very sorry. I'll do everything I can to make sure there's no danger to you, but if you don't feel safe, you can. Then it's a good thing we're living together. I was just about to say you can return to your own apartment if this worries you. Oh no, I'm not worried at all. I'm totally fine. I just want to make this mission a success. Gotta get SS rank! But I wonder, who could it be, and why would they keep coming back? Normally, your first thought would be a burglar, but multiple attempts at a house protected by a security company? There's a huge CCAM sticker right next to the intercom. You can't miss it. Could it really be someone who knows Mrs. Joseph married, and they're dead set on finding proof? A company president always has a target on his back. I'm not ready to accuse anyone, so I'll keep working with CCAM for now. We'll catch them eventually, but so far, they've been long gone by the time security personnel arrived each time. The security cameras caught what appeared to be a man, but his face was always totally covered, so we can't make out any features. That's definitely a problem. Without a doubt, maybe it's time to make a public announcement, and... another call this time. It's okay, go ahead. Right, thank you. Hello? Yes, it's been quite some time. Right, yes, but yes, of course. I understand, but I'll have to check my wife's schedule and get back to you. Yes, goodbye for now. Do we have another mission to take care of? I clearly heard him say twice, so I assumed it was talking about dinner again. Mr. Snell immediately looked exhausted. Yes, well, that was another important client. I hate to ask for your help again, but it's time for another dinner party. Roger that. Aye aye, Capitan. I gave him a wink and a sharp salute to show him I didn't mind at all. Sadly, Mr. Snell just furrowed his brows even more. Oh no, poor Mr. Snell. He's so stressed about this. We said our goodbyes and I returned home. Whew. Okay, back to the project planning. After talking to Mr. Snell, I had a much more firm grasp on my idea. I excitedly started writing down even more ideas. My phone suddenly chirped to let me know I had a message. Checking the screen, I saw it was from Owen. Also, where's Chi? I need a dose of Chi, please. Owen, that's kind of unusual. Thank you for getting this to me. Mr. Snell mentioned he'd like to put out classified ads for more secretaries as well, as early as tomorrow. Thank goodness. And this wouldn't have been possible without your advice. Mr. Snell must have already gotten the ball rolling then. Just as speedily as ever when it comes to work, he couldn't deny he was basically the perfect president. Oh, but Owen's message, I guess maybe my advice had actually helped him out a little. Owen's message said, and this wouldn't have been possible without your advice. So Mr. Snell must have told him about looking for more help. I have to admit, it feels kind of nice. He's so busy, I'm glad if I was able to help even a little bit. I couldn't help but smile as I thought about my reply to Owen. Let's save. Let's make a quick save. I'll do everything I can to help out with things too. After writing up my reply, I hit send. Then I spread out my notes and got back to work on my plan. And with that, we will end part 1, Suspicion Grows. We will end Suspicion Grows in the next episode. I'm really interested in Suspicion Grows because the guy looks like to have the outline of her dad, so that'll be really fun. We have seen it in the past episodes in Ryuki's route where I commented on it, or was it the common route? One of the two. If you want to see that, go click on the video up top here. As always, remember to get some food, eat some sleep. Eat some food, get some sleep, and drink some water because you are important, so is your health. I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye!